Hello ladies and gentlemen, this video will be about the most important transit of next year 2025. It will be again Saturn. Saturn will leave Aquarius where he is since January of 2023 and he will enter Sidereal Pisces where he will be staying 3 years. Saturn will enter Pisces on 6th of April. At that moment, he will be invisible and he is rising for the first time. He becomes visible from the period of invisibility where he will be too near the sun, so not visible from our perspective. But then on the 30th of April, Saturn becomes visible in the first degrees of Sidereal Pisces. 3 years of Saturn in Sidereal Pisces. I will tell you about this, how Saturn will influence the world, but also I will be going briefly through the 12 zodiacal signs and constellations so that you have an idea what is he capable of giving you, or what are eventually the challenges that he may mean for you. Just to tell you, the knowledge is power. So even if we speak about challenges, when we know about them, we can certainly do a lot to prevent them from happening or to help ourselves in different ways. So on 6th of April, Saturn entered Pisces. On 30th of April, he will be visible. So most probably we will start feeling, experiencing his energies, his influences a little bit later, as of 30th of April. This is important to know. I will invite you to go 28 to 30 years ago and try to remember what actually happened to you. How was your life? Because 30 years ago, Saturn was in a similar position, but not the same. It is never the same. So you have a little bit of idea what he meant. So Saturn, this is Kronos of the Greek mythology, Saturn of the Romans, Ninurta of the ancient Babylonians. He's mighty warrior of the Babylonians. So before I tell you of the 12 ascendants and I give you the eventual the possibilities of his influence on your lives, I will share with you interesting myth which is not a very known. You will not see the translation of this myth. It exists, I think, not in English. I will just share it with you in order to make you feel the essence of the Saturnian energy. This is already a remedy for you because you will know how to deal with these energies, how to communicate with Saturn. And secondly, you will gain better understanding of Saturn. You will know what you are dealing with. And after I share with you this myth and tell you how this has implication on the year 2025, then we'll be looking at the 12 ascendants, as I do usually when there is very important transit as this one. So this myth is about god Ninurta, which is Saturn of the Babylonians, the sacred major Babylonian bird Anzu, and the tablets of the destinies of people. So this myth, this tablet is about god Ninurta and his mighty essence, his mighty energy. And so it is about also the scary giant bird, mythological bird Anzu, which looks like a lion, and it is so giant that it lives in mountains which are not accessible to people. So it is about Enlil. You know, we have Anu, Enlil, and Ea. These are the three main divinities created when we had the connection, when the world was just created, when there was the sweet water ocean and the salty waters were joined. And these were, if you remember, I said it just in my previous video, the energies of Abzu, the sweet water, and Tiamat, the salty water. So they joined, and with this the world was created, and their children were born. And the three first divinities were Anu, Enlil, and Ea. So God Enlil, who was one of the three primer gods divinities, who was father of Marduk, Jupiter, he's described in this myth as mighty magician who was having this golden shiny coat, which most probably is the meaning of the aura, the mighty kingship, royal, godlike aura which he had. So Abzu, the bird, was very interested, and he wanted to steal his coat, which God Enlil was always taking off in the evenings before he was going to sleep. So Anzu said, I need to have this coat which Enlil was taking off every evening. I need to have his crown. I need to also take from him the tablets with the destinies of every human being on earth. So one day Enlil was planning to swim in the water, how you call this? Yes, in the lake. So he was preparing to swim in the lake, so he left aside the golden coat, his crown, and also the tablets with the destinies. At that moment, Anzu just waited for this moment to happen, and he stole everything, and he stole the tablets with the destinies of people. As a result, the world changed. Suddenly everything became dark and sad. It was just maybe the saddest, the most dramatic moment in history. So the tablets with the destinies of people were stolen. So this was like the end of the world, and the gods were desperate. So they were thinking, where is this mighty warrior who can defeat Anzu and recover to Enlil the tablets with the destinies of people? God Anu said this will be Ninurta. This will be Ninurta, which is known now in our times as Saturn. He is the mighty warrior who will be the only one who managed to defeat Anzu and take the tablets with the destinies of people. So this is exactly what happened. Ninurta was given by the gods the right weapons, the arrows. So Anu invited Ninmah. God Anu invited Ninmah. Ninmah is the goddess of the gods. She's the main goddess. This is Ninmah. And she said to him, please find for us your favorite god, Ninurta, and give him the right weapons for the defeat of Anzu. And here is what exactly they say. She says, I gave Ninmah. She said to Ninurta, I gave birth to the Igigis. Igigis were the primal gods and their descendants. I gave birth to the Anunnakis. Actually, the Anunnaki are the highest hierarchy of God. I gave the godlike powers to Enlil. But Anzu stole the tablets with the destinies of people, and he destroyed the godlike order. This is literally what she said. Ninurta, create the way. Ninurta, find the hour. Ninurta, gather all your powers and strengths. Uplift the wind against Anzu. Soak your arrow in poison. Send smoke in order to defeat him and get the 7 demons. These are the Subitu demons. These are the demons which are the Pleiades. Nowadays, the Pleiades are the 7 witches, you know, that the 7 sisters, the 7 demons. Gather them and defeat, and you will be the mightiest. You will be called the master. You will be called the Lord. So at first Ninurta, his first attack didn't work, but then Ningirsu gave him another advice, and I will not go into this detail because these are indeed details. And Ninmah, the goddess, she gave him another advice how to defeat Anzu, and he managed. And since then, he is on the pantheon of gods in Babylon. He was praised as mighty warrior. They called him the Lord. They called him mighty warrior. I'm sharing with you this myth because it is not known. It is not found in the literature. I think it exists only in Akkadian, and I share it with you to illustrate to you the power of Ninurta. Remember, she told him, get your time, get your powers in order to defeat Anzu. So he is the Lord of Time since forever. He is the mighty warrior since forever. And he is the Lord who defeated the demon bird, you know. So he's very, very, very powerful, very strategic. And we know Saturn only as god of karma, the one who is difficult because he's behind karmic lessons and challenges and difficulties that we all have. But we don't know him with these more like Mars qualities. He is the warrior. He is the very powerful Lord, praised a lot in Babylon, later on praised in the Greek times. This story I will not mention now, another time, in his story, which is easy to find in the literature and everywhere. In the Roman times he was praised, and you know, now around Christmas it will be Saturnalia, which they celebrated. So Saturn, with this story I just wanted to give you a little bit of information on qualities of Saturn which are not known. Saying this, let me continue with the current situation, the situation which would take place as of 6th of April, and maybe better to say 30th of April of 2025, when Saturn will enter sidereal Pisces. I will not discuss aspects because this is simple. You can all see the aspects he will make. I will maybe mention them briefly, but more interesting is what Ninurta, Saturn, Kronos will do in Pisces. This is big, ladies and gentlemen. This is big because Saturn is powerful, mighty. He has the powers not only to sit as a monk, wise old man, but he can also be a warrior who can defeat things if we need this. So who is more powerful? So Saturn is entering, the light is in my face. So Saturn is entering Pisces. Who is more powerful? What is he doing in Pisces? He is not well placed in Pisces. He will not be really with his full powers of warriors in Pisces. He will not exhibit these powers. Pisces. Who is more powerful? The Pisces, the two fishes, are more powerful, or Saturn when he enters Pisces? I was thinking about this, and my answer is the following. We have the celestial spheres. The higher you go, the higher the hierarchy. In my previous video, when I was discussing with you the cosmogony, the cosmology of the Babylonians, I mentioned a little bit about this, and the higher we go, and the higher the powers. So the celestial, the sphere with the zodiacal constellation is higher than the sphere of Saturn. So Pisces as such is more powerful. The energy of Pisces, which is the energy of the Christ essence. This is the energy of Neptune, which is Dionysus, Jesus. This is the energy of the current era which we are living. This is the energy of suffering, of poor, of disasters, of mental illnesses, if you want, of disease, chronic. This is energy of empathy and healing. And this is more powerful than Ninurta or Saturn or Kronos energy, which are also not to underestimate, not to underestimate the energy of Ninurta, the giant. By the way, he was always illustrated as somebody very big, massive giant. Mars was illustrated as Nergal, a little bit smaller, I can tell you, even in the later mythological stories. So, he's really very powerful warrior. He is also the wise man indeed, rules the destinies of people. He is the one who saved the destinies of people, so he can save our karma if he wants. He has the power, the mighty energy, but how far he can work with, how far he can exhibit this in Pisces, not much. This is a combination of the element, of water, and the element of Pisces, and the element of Kronos, of Saturn, which actually is conflicting energy. Therefore, Saturn is considered even to be detriment, to be fallen in Pisces. He's not very powerful there, but he has the patience. He really has the patience, and he's also really very mighty because of his high position on the sky. Now I'm just reasoning with you loudly. So what is he going to give, to mean for the world and for us? Pisces, like I described, is also the karma that we are paying, the difficult karma, because Pisces is related also to disease, to hidden enemies, to the karma that we are paying. Also, it is called the 12th house, which Pisces is ruling, is called the house of the bad karma. And Saturn is entering exactly there. And logically, there is development. First, he was in Capricorn to make, in 2020 to 2023, to make all the structures fall down, to create the entrance of the new social system. Then he enters the Aquarius, where he is equally powerful, to allow the new, to make big transformation, Aquarius-like transformation, in his Saturn way, so the new can enter. And now he's entering Pisces, and this will be big because these are conflicting energies, and the 12th house will be Saturn brings limitation there, so there will be limitation for energies which are related to the past. So it is like it will be very transformative, and the new energies will be allowed to enter, because Pisces is the era which we are living. Saturn there will create the limitations. So this will be like the last karma that we'll have to pay before the new will enter. And the last karma is karma of a little bit of suffering. It will be about refugees, natural disasters, big fears and worries. And I say this for good, to warn you, because when you know that there is a possibility to experience worries, fears, you will not allow this to happen. But Saturn in Pisces can be behind big, absolute immense fears of the human beings, of us people, worries, anxieties, which will show up on the surface. Many people will go through this. Like the fears will be the main problem with Saturn in Pisces, because Saturn himself is a heavy planet, and also when not very easily placed in the horoscope, he can be very difficult. So it depends really how Saturn is positioned in your own horoscope. So there will be another situation with diseases, especially because he becomes visible for the first time in Pisces. He will be emphasizing on the Piscean energy. This is energy of disease. There could be another health crisis, but Saturn, with his patience and his energy of teacher, there will be a very, very important breakthrough in new discoveries related to healing, which will have their root in the past, in ancient times. Like this, we see slowly coming up. It will be more. Like if there were tools for healing in the past that are more and more known to us now, it will be more of that. A lot. There will be new ways of healing problems with health, and in parallel new healing mechanisms will come up very much. There will be big problem with people who will be coming from 1 second, the word, refugees was the word. I'm very sorry. So another, big wave of refugees, crisis in this area, but also new professions in the sectors of healing, medicine, spirituality. Absolutely new professions, which will be professions from ancient times, not like what like we say, nothing new under the sun. So imagine this. Of course, when I speak about Saturn, I don't like really to speak only about Saturn, because solely the transit of Uranus in Taurus is also introducing new professions. But this is separate conversations, and I spoke about that. Now Saturn is the main lord, of our conversation. So the main thing will be emotions. He will be very transformative, because we will meet the biggest fears of ours, because Saturn in Pisces is very sensitive, very spiritual, very empathic. It's a beautiful sign also of healing, of the collective, because Pisces is ruling still the collective. We are still, doesn't matter where you are on the planet, we are still ruled by Pisces, so it is concerning the collective more than anything else. Therefore, Saturn will be major for the collective in terms of new professions, new ways of healing, new knowledge, and fears which we have to face, and we will grow beyond, beyond that. So, also when I look at him, entering Pisces, at this very moment, there will be very harmonious sextile for the next whole year 2025 with Uranus and with Pluto. And about this bisextile I will speak in a separate video, because this is something very important. Bisextile, the harmonious aspect between the three trans-Saturnian planets, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. And for this next whole year 2025 through to 2026, these three planets will be in harmony. I meant Neptune, yes, with Saturn in Pisces, but I mean the three trans-Saturnian planets participate in this with Saturn. So Neptune, Uranus, and Pluto form bisextile together with Saturn, which will be valid, like I said, for 2025 and also 2026. So it's a very big deal of really new energies. The world will not be the same after this moment. And also, before I forget, 13 July, Saturn and Neptune form exact conjunction. And I mentioned in a previous video, and I will speak about this maybe more, we had major historical events when they met. One was the French Revolution, no, not the French, it was the Russian Revolution in 1917, 1882 Anglo-Egypt War. Putin was born during this conjunction. The polio crisis, 1952, 1989, Berlin Wall fell. These are events that I mentioned in previous video, but just to tell you how major this is, and this is about Saturn in Pisces, but also conjoined Neptune. So you will see this Saturn in transit in Pisces is very big for everyone, for the planet. This will be the summer, 12th, 13 July, the summer. After the summer, most probably the world will not be the same. It will not happen overnight because these are heavy planets, but for more than 100 years ahead, there will be very, very important transformation, which we will be feeling, by the way. That's why I invited you to have idea, to look back 28 to 30 years ago, then you 30 years ago, then you have better idea a little bit, because it's not the same, but still just a small indication of what Saturn in Pisces means. So this is about the main aspects which he's forming. I will not look into his retrograde motion, but the invisibility, I told you on the 30th of April he becomes visible for the first time in the first degrees of Pisces, and this will be powerful energy. So for the collective, because of the energy of Pisces. And now I will go through the 12 ascendants just to give you a little bit of idea. Okay. As usual, I will look at the 12 ascendants from two perspectives, sidereal and also tropical. So when you have a sidereal ascendant Aries, your tropical equivalent most probably, I say most probably, will be Taurus. For people who follow modern tropical astrology, it will be tropical astrology. Also, it will be about your moon sign. So if you have sidereal ascendant or moon in Aries, the tropical astrology will be Taurus for you. So if you have ascendant sidereal Aries or tropical Taurus, Saturn for you will enter your 12th house. It will be very important because it will have to do with, this is the house of the bad karma. It will have to do with chronic, also diseases as a result of previous lifetimes. It will also have to do with hidden enemies. So there you may experience some challenges which later on you'll be given the opportunities to fix, to have the remedy for. So there will be your main lesson during this transit of Saturn into Pisces, health, but you will also be awakening to new health means, health methods. Most probably you will also defeat hidden enemies. Of course, this is valid for the 12 ascendants. I want to say, if you want me to look personally how Saturn will influence your horoscope, my reading for 2025 is available with a discount on my website. So for people who have sidereal ascendant Taurus, for you, Saturn is entering your 11th house. This is the house of the good spirit. Saturn in 11th house is not so challenging. This is good for you. But he may bring transformation related to children. Also, if Saturn is very well placed in your horoscope, could be that he gives even children. He is then generous when he is well placed in the horoscope. In general, you may need to be a little bit more attentive, a little bit careful with children, with friendships. He can bring important changes related to your gains and finances. He can influence your career. In the beginning, a little bit challenging, and later on, he may be able also to give you the ways to solve eventual changes. Now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Gemini. For you, Saturn is entering your 10th house. He can automatically introduce challenges in your 10th house and even lead you to opt for another job or create big changes in your career environment. Therefore, in the beginning, especially after April, you may need to be careful when you communicate with superiors. In general, be alert, be a little bit careful. Also, be a little bit careful in your romantic life. Patient, be because he's also squaring the 7th house. If Saturn in your horoscope is well placed, he will not be that challenging really. And now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Cancer or moon in Cancer, or if you're following modern tropical astrology, this would be Leo. For you, Saturn will enter your 9th house. This is the house of the guru, and he's trining the ascendant, so I don't see him really to be harmful for you, but he can give you lots of knowledge. He can be very benevolent for you. Knowledge. He can change entirely the way you view, the way you see the world, your philosophical belief system. There could be big transformation in studies, education. He can make big change really for you. Also, when you travel, you may need to be a little bit careful if Saturn is not very well placed in your horoscope, or when you do media work. Now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Leo or moon in Leo, or if you're following modern tropical astrology, this would be Virgo. For you, Saturn will be entering your 8th house. 8th house. These are the finances of your partner. Saturn may not be very generous. Depends how he's placed in your horoscope, but your partner may go through transformation, or you may experience changes related to finances which you will which are related to money from unexpected sources, insurances, inheritances, money via partnerships, all that is unexpected. So there he might be very transformative and a little bit challenging, unless he is brilliantly placed in your horoscope, which is not very often actually to see, because he is creating some limitations. Maybe the remedy here is really to open your heart, to be very spiritual, to accept the changes, and also to help others, but this is not necessarily bad. I don't think even that this will be bad. This will be changing. This can also change the way you make money, the way you view money, and so. This could mean that you will be able to fight your fears also. And when you can already do spiritual work so that you don't have any fears and anxieties. Now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Virgo or moon in Virgo, or if you're following modern tropical astrology, this will be Libra. Now for you, Saturn will be in your 7th house, and actually this can be a little bit testing. This can test your romantic life, your relationships. This can mean that you might need to become very spiritual, very patient with your partner, with partnerships in general. He can change your business, your entrepreneurship. Saturn can have this very powerful role. In the beginning, you may need to have different approach to business, very spiritual approach, very patient, very empathic, forgiving. Also to your partner, and then you will be okay, but you need to change your approach, I believe, to both. Now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Libra or moon in Libra, or if you're following modern tropical astrology, this is Scorpio. For you, Saturn will be in your 6th house. This can have a transformative impact on your health. He can give you through hardship a little bit. He can change your mind on health, on disease. He can make you apply different means, different remedies on your own body, on your own health. But also he can make you research and study medicine, but more in a natural way, He can make you become a healer even. Depends how he's placed in your horoscope. He can bring back old conflicts and enemies that you will need to resolve or fix. He can create disputes that will be very deep, very old. He can also create disputes in your routine environment, things which you need to solve because it's very karmic. Certainly when you will manage, but your approach needs to be through love, forgiveness, because of the energy of Pisces, wisdom, patience. Our patience will be tested. It will be indeed so. Now we look at people who have sidereal sun and Scorpio or moon in Scorpio, or if you're following modern tropical astrology, this will be Sagittarius. For you, Saturn will be trine in your ascendant. from your 5th house, the house of the good fortune. This Saturn may change your approach to talented work, to art. Like you may lose muse temporarily. Like you can say, oh, I have no muse temporarily. But then you may change your approach or the way you do your work, the way you do your artwork, let's say. He can change your relationship with children. Like you may need to be a little bit attentive and careful with children. He can be a little bit testing your love life. He can create limitations there a little bit. Also, he can change the way you make money. He can make you suddenly be interested in ancient story, ancient history, ancient knowledge, ancient art. So this can be very, very benevolent for you. Also healing, philosophies, new studies. This will be very enriching, I believe, for you. Now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Sagittarius or moon in Sagittarius. If you follow modern tropical astrology, this will be Capricorn. Now Saturn will be in your 4th house. With this, watch out a little bit the health of mother and parents. He may be a little bit limiting factor for your home, or if you have deals which involve property. He can be a little bit there. You may need to be patient, to apply a little bit, patience, love. Some karmic matters may arise related to home, properties. He may be a little bit challenging for your romantic life and marriage. He may test your marriage. This is also very important. And he can have also impact on your career and money making. This is to say that you may need to be patient and not very impulsive when it comes to career decisions, projects, communication. The laws of patience need to be applied here. Now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Capricorn and moon in Capricorn, or if you're following modern tropical astrology, this would be Aquarius. For you, Saturn rules your ascendant, and when he will be in your 3rd house, he can make you very, very interested and driven to knowledge, travel, researching cultures, communication, and so. He may also reintroduce to you matters and conflicts even that you need to solve, karmic stuff related to communication with brothers and sisters. So this is very important for you to solve this with patience and love, because of the energy of Pisces and Saturn in Pisces. So this is the thing. He may be a little bit limiting factor when it comes to travel. That's why when you travel, you may need to be very careful, but also patient in every meanings of these words. Patient when it comes to communication, when it comes to negotiations. Yes, this is maybe the magic word with Saturn in Pisces. And now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Aquarius or moon in Aquarius, or if you follow in modern tropical astrology, this would be Pisces. For you, Saturn, who rules your ascendant, will be on your 2nd house. He may have direct impact on your finances, the way you make money. And when on your 2nd house, he may be a bit limiting, because he has to bring transformation and change, most probably in your relationship with money, because money is energy. And if you want to have money, we need to have very wise relationship with money. So you may need to see yourself in a need to work on that relationship with money, because he will be transforming your money making, and with this your career, of course. Also you may need to make sure that you restore the balance related to money, because also Rahu and Ketu will be at that moment, until certain period, until April, end of April, in your 2nd house, conjoining Saturn. But you may need to be very balanced when you make financial decisions, really with very balanced and harmonious mind. Also, he may make you desire to reconnect with family roots, to solve some karma. This will be very good, very important. Make sure that you apply the laws of love and forgiveness. And finally, people who have sidereal ascendant Pisces or moon in Pisces, or if you're following modern astrology, this will be Pisces. Saturn will be for the next 3 years on your ascendant. This is big. You will feel this heavy, you will feel worried. Don't be. Connect with nature, do spiritual work because of the energy of Pisces. Be patient, do spiritual work. Reconnect with nature, like I said 10 times, but I feel this is very important. Make sure that you're forgiving with your partner, harmonious with your work, because from the ascendant he's influencing all houses in your horoscopes. Basically, he can have impact on all houses in your horoscope. That's why make sure that you are in harmony with yourself, with your marriage or partnership or career, and you will be well. Make sure that you're very spiritual, that you practice spiritual stuff, that you pray if you want, that you reconnect 100 times. I want to repeat this with nature, and you will be very well. Don't allow any fears. When you're afraid, just hug a tree, walk in the forest, walk in the park, and you will be well. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope this was interesting. I feel it is very important. I personally think about this transit as the most important transit for the year 2025. Of course, if you want to have detailed reading on how Saturn exactly will form your future, you can connect with me, and my contacts are under this video. I wish you great Saturnalia, if you want to say so. Great holidays, and see you very soon. Bye bye.